open a cold one, kick back, and enjoy a week's worth of conversation from pop culture, sports, breaking news, and everything in between. Welcome to the Pine Room Podcast. At the beginning of the podcast each week, everyone on the show rolls a 20-sided die. The person who rolls the lowest number then becomes the moderator for that week's show, and it's their job to move the conversation along and switch from various topics or questions that can be found on the moderator's cheat sheet, or custom ones they've brought in themselves. If you have a question or a topic you'd like us to discuss, send us an email to contact@thepineroompodcast.com. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get into the show. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast.
Alrighty, welcome into the Pine Room Podcast. I hit the goddamn mic. Alrighty, welcome into the Pine Room Podcast, episode 136. Amazingly, we're creeping up on 150. I remember we were just talking about how we were creeping up on 100. But yeah, episode 136. Myself, Cools, Chris, Coach in the studio. It's a different cast every week. Just had a nice 3-hour radio show. It's Tuesday, November the 19th. Almost Thanksgiving. Again, amazingly. Again, had a nice radio show today. Still waiting to hear on football this week, as I believe you guys talked about last week. If anybody, were you guys on? Chris, were you here last week?
It was
on the
me,
podcast? No.
It was me, Jeff, Soup, and Jeff.
You guys got into the SSAC, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We could go on and on, but yeah, I guess we'll know when you're hearing this. We'll probably know if we're playing football games Friday or Saturday or even Sunday.
And you made a good point on the radio, like you said, like it doesn't even seem real anymore, like this football, and you just wonder for some of these teams, have the kids checked out? Just because when they probably last played last Friday.
Last Saturday? Friday, yeah.
And now, I guess, like you said, they're practicing, but it just, I don't know. They probably, I don't know, Mark said it yesterday, they can only wait another, week or so. And
yeah, because then it just,
unless they, don't play, or, they just, take the top 8 or something, but it's terrible. But I just don't know how those kids can keep that momentum if they got to sit for 2 weeks and then they end up resuming it.
Well, and it's amazing that we've heard nothing. We've literally heard nothing from the SSAC. Not that Metro News is affiliated with them, but they don't have any information on it. Nobody, no news outlets, nothing. We've heard nothing.
I would hope, however this gets resolved, if it does get resolved, or they just cancel the season, just have somebody do an in-depth report on how this all started. Who's responsible? Name, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think the people deserve that.
Maybe we could start a document. I almost said a documentary.
It just
maybe we could start our own film series, and the first would be how the SSAC messed up the playoffs.
It's
more than that too.
If they don't play this week, is it done?
I think so. I think if they don't play this week, they said they cannot go into the 22nd and maybe 21st and 22nd. I think I think it'll be over, and I think it'll lose so much luster it already has. I talked to Coach Doc today, which been Tuesday, and he said that it's been okay up until yesterday, and yesterday became very, very evident that these kids are really getting tired of this, and that it's getting stale, and they're getting tired of being there without knowing who they're going to play, how to prepare. And just, I think it's just taken a lot of the excitement out of the state football playoffs. Even when it starts back up, I think it's lost its luster. It's just not the same.
Because messing up like this is obviously not small. Is there any consequences for the SSAC for this? Is it?
Well, it's SSAC and mostly, but Wood County needs to be held accountable too for fouling these injunctions, which have really stalled the thing. But the SSAC is to blame for just stupidity, just
not making tough decisions, right?
I would assume, yeah, and trying to please everybody and keep everybody happy, and just thought that their first decision that the how it went the first time they decided about the playoff points going from 4A to AAA, triple to double. They thought that would just go over nice and easy, and everybody would carry on, and the games would go on, and would be now getting ready for the second week. But now we're not even through the first week, and it's just.
So just so I'm clear, they made that decision before the season that was going to happen.
They made the decision to move the teams down, like John Marshall moved from 4A to 3A.
They did that mid-August.
The decision about the points came after week 11, getting ready for the playoffs. That's when Parkersburg, Wood County, filed the injunction that said teams should be getting the points that they would have gotten if the teams would have stayed in their upper level. Mm-hmm. So, like, they say that teams should have gotten the 4A points from John Marshall instead of the 3A points. Yeah. And that came after week 11, and that's what caused the whole thing.
And because Parkersburg had already scheduled, say, John Marshall before they moved classes is what caused the problems, correct?
Right, but they're saying they got the AAA points.
Yes, yes.
But Wood County says they should have gotten the 4A points.
Yes,
which would have moved Parkersburg and Parkersburg South into a different slot in the seeding, which would have gave them what they argue is an easier game. Mm-hmm. So because Parkersburg was 16, Martinsburg was 1, they would have had to play Martinsburg and got beat by 80. So I'm assuming they thought that was wrong. So they found this loophole, said we want the points adjusted, so we're not 16th.
So once that happened, then other schools did the same thing.
Then they adjust. SSAC adjust instead of telling Wood County, nope, that's not how it's going to be. It's this way. The points. This is how it was determined at the beginning of the season. This is how it should be. It would have been over. They would have ruled it. It would have been over. Now, would they legally have been allowed to do that? I don't know, but that's the way it should have been done. But they said, oh yeah, that's probably right. We should be giving them points. The 4A or the 4A points when they scheduled them, and the SSAC ruled that is the right way to do it. That's when the mess started. That there were 4 teams that thought they were in, and now we're out. The 4 that were out thought they were, or then now they're in, and then all the shuffling of that. That's when Wheeling Park was then supposed to play Spring Mills. Which was just
that was wild.
But that also, you got to go back.
That was a whole different thing, right?
Yeah, that's after Spring Mills had to forfeit 4 games, which eventually this past week they got those 4 games back because they said the kid was homeless, he didn't have a place to go, and he didn't have a school, so they had to take him. So they ruled those games were not in violation of the rule. So they were re-awarded the victory. So then they were 9-1.
And it said the SSAC wasn't going to appeal that. Obviously, they probably, just thought, Spring Mills needs to be, what would they be, second? Or were they number 1?
No, they've been in second. They've been 2. Martinsburg was 1.
But it all stems from it's not so much the reclassification as it is the points.
Well, the reclassification was moronic anyway to begin with, and how they did it, that's competitive balance formula that they use, which is determined not by enrollment, but how many free lunches there were, how many kids of color there were, how many in the socioeconomic stuff, instead of just enrollment, which it's always been. Just enrollment. I don't know what the exact formula, whether it's boys in 10 through 12 or boys and girls, I'm not sure, but it was just always enrollment, clear cut. Now it's all these other silly things.
How about this now? I just saw this was from a guy on Twitter, Rick Ryan.
Yeah, he used to be a sports writer here in Wheeling, but then he went to Charleston.
Yeah, so he said this was 4 hours ago. This was at 10:40 this morning. Herbert Hoover Athletic Director Richard Parsons said the SSAC informed him a short while ago that tonight's play-in football game between St. Mary's and Tulsa at Husky Stadium is still on. Kickoff set for 7 p.m.
No way.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that game played for nothing?
Yeah, I think so.
I got to go on Metro News and
that was 4 hours ago.
When have they ever had a play-in game?
Never.
That is incredible.
So Wood County filed this or whatever on behalf of South and Parkersburg, correct?
I believe so.
Coach
Yeah.
said,
Any school in Wood County. Yeah.
Okay. And so they were upset about the points.
Nothing new on Metro News. Nothing about that. There's nothing about the play-in game.
Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter. So the latest thing on Metro News is Supreme Court reviews latest filings in football playoffs controversy. Fayette County judge appointed to hear case. That was yesterday at 2:50. So that's the latest. We've gone a little over 24 hours now without hearing a word. So,
and I want to go to the Spring Mills thing because I saw something on there. The Spring Mills thing where they ruled that they had an ineligible player play in 4 games, and he was just a mop-up player on special teams, and they forfeited those games. But now they got him back because they said this kid was homeless. I said this before. But since then, the kid is now in prison, back in jail in Georgia, where he was wanted for sexual assault. So,
I mean,
wouldn't you think Spring Mills would do a little bit more investigating into? You know, we got this kid. He comes from no. Wouldn't one of the guidance counselors, the guidance counselor of that student, call down and say, "Hey, we want a little bit of information on this student athlete that just came from us and seems to be homeless." Wouldn't that raise a red flag?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say, "Hey, let's find out what's going on"?
I wonder what, and I'm not saying it would do this, but just you could just generalize it. Any school, like if that happened, and they learned about it, but they didn't report it. Say if the kid was like just a 5-star recruit, and he was going to wherever, he was going to Georgia, and they said, "Man, this kid comes up here." Like they just say, well, nobody really knows what's going on in Georgia. Like, he got in some trouble, but if we just keep it hush hush, because it would help him win. Mm-hmm. So let's not report it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you couldn't put it past any of these fucking schools. Not all of them, but some of them have that mentality, win at all costs.
I'm not sure 100% how it works, but wouldn't you reach out to the school that he went to before for like transcripts or like
that's what I'm saying.
Anything?
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't the guidance counselors look into it and say, "Hey, can you give us a little information on this kid? I mean, we don't have much information. Can you tell us?" And wouldn't somebody say, "Hey, you might want to be on the lookout. He's on the run from the law. He is a fugitive for sexual assault." Wouldn't Spring Mills say?
Was he really? He was a fugitive?
Yeah, he was on a run. Yeah, So since he came back to Georgia, he was arrested
How
again.
in the hell did he end up? Did he have a relative?
I was going to say, how did he end up at Spring Mills? I feel like to me it seems like somebody would know him there. He had some kind of.
I don't know any of those details, but that's just that's bizarre. So that was one of the pieces of the puzzle. Another funny story I thought was Coach Doc. I talked to him and I said, "How are you preparing for this?" And he said, "Well, last week on Tuesday, we were preparing for Spring Mills because that's who we thought we were playing. Then it turned around that they heard through the grapevine that the point system was going to go back the other way, the original way. So they said on Wednesday we were preparing for Cabell Midland, and then it came to be that they were either going to play Musselman or Woodrow Wilson. So they had 4 teams that they were preparing for, and now they're preparing for Musselman and Woodrow Wilson or Woodrow Wilson. And he said, it's a little easier with Woodrow Wilson because they play a standard defense that we can prepare for, sort of like our defense. But Musselman runs that like a wing tee or some crazy. I saw him play down Wheeling Park, playing down there. It's a lot of cross cutting and motion, and sometimes they got a different guy in at quarterback. It's just so they can't. It's much different preparing for them than it is Woodrow Wilson.
I mean, how do you what do you practice? I mean, I guess just simple
just pat the quarterback's throw and
work on your offense a little bit. Yeah. I guess.
But he said that the players are just tired of it, and they're just and everybody's just tired of it.
Yeah, it's almost at this point, it's like
go away, just forget it.
Yeah, shut it down.
Who really cares at this point? I mean, other than the parents and the players and the administration. Coaches, nobody. I don't even think anybody really cares anymore. It's like, let's move on. It's a basketball season now. Mm-hmm. Christmas is right around the corner. Thanksgiving, it's a luster. It's just just so uncalled for and so stupid. Another beautiful thing that West Virginia does.
Yeah. Has it? Do you know if it's gotten any national attention?
Other than I heard a little thing in Sports Illustrated and then maybe one other little thing on social media, but I don't think.
Maybe eventually it will.
Well, I would imagine if the playoffs get canceled, it'll become a major story nationally. I mean, it'll go on ESPN. I would assume if it gets canceled, state high school football
has to be the only state in the country that's having this problem.
ever in the history of high school football. That's just.
I just wonder, like when we mentioned it yesterday on the radio, like whoever, like the top brass of the SSAC, and you know if you had some guys in there that didn't want to, they want to do the right thing, and I just wonder now that the mess that they're in, like a guy. Would just think to himself or like say, geez, how in the fuck did I get involved with these fucking
probably can't sleep at night.
Right. And just think I can't believe I'm associated with this now. And, you know, I'm guilty because I'm in this, you know, the hierarchy of the SSAC. I just think because they all couldn't agree to this. I don't.
There's no way.
I wouldn't think. There had to be some pushback, but maybe got overruled. I don't know how it works, but
you just would think a whole playoff getting canceled. You'd think something like traumatic would happen, like for it to be canceled. There's nothing really
like
traumatic.
A tornado tore the stadium down.
Or like tsunami wiped the entire state out. But it's just a rule change. Yeah. And nobody can agree on it, and what the kids are getting fucked over.
And well, let's see how many teams: 16, 32, 48. 64 teams plus the 4 that were knocked out, so about 68 teams have been affected in one way or the other, and it's just incredible to now that they're going to have to rely on being able to get workers for games that maybe were supposed to be on the road. Now they're home. The people that were at home, now they're going on the road, so they got to get buses, get all that stuff taken care of. Hotel lodging if they're going far and you know have to stay overnight. It's just
worker. It seemed like it'd be tough, especially you know if you thought, well, our team's going to be going on the road, so I got this weekend off, and then they say, oh well, no, we reverted the points back to so you're playing at home. Well, then by that time you've already scheduled events or something to go do, and then they want you to work the football game.
It's affecting a lot of people. Yes. A lot of people. I mean, in so many different ways. And, you know, football is just the number one sport. You can say what you want about the other sports, just the number one sport in the state. And in most states, football is the king. It's just the way it is. Whether you're like Matt and you hate it and Jubb and hate it, or you love it, it's just the king. It's college, pro, no matter what you say, it's the king, and it engulfs a lot of people. It involves a lot of people, and you know, in the media, and I mean, just you know, game ops, just it's stupid. It's just really dumb. And I've honestly, and I've enjoyed the season. I had a ball doing the games. I was excited for. I'm done. I'm literally I'm checked out. I'm seriously checked out. If they said tomorrow that the season's canceled, it would not bother me one bit. Would I feel honestly bad for the players? Absolutely, I would. I would feel bad, especially for the seniors, especially the good teams that really had a good chance to win a state title. I mean, Wheeling Central, you guys saw them enough. I think they had enough guns to at least get to the semifinals. They had and Park, if things would have set up for them, which it looked like it was going to, they had a good chance of getting to the semifinals. And that's a lot of memories. That's a lot of things that you'll never have a chance to do again in your life. And plus, there's no finality to the season. You know, if you lose, you know, at least you hug your teammates, and the coach gives you a speech, and you get a good send off. Or if you win it all, the celebration. But now, it's like the season really didn't even come to an end.
It feels like COVID, like when COVID just
it's weird.
Yeah, it is. It is. Here's what we can hope for: the games do get to be played, and that the Wood County teams play the best teams, and they get beat by 150.
Oh man, I think Martinsburg, if they play Parkersburg, should just never let off the gas. Just never. You hate to do that to the kids because it's not their fault, to be honest with you, but.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just
maybe don't steamroll it. Just run into him, the coaches on the sideline or something.
Right.
Yeah, nobody gets hurt, but you just get beat very.
Well,
very
no, the even better thing than that was when we were talking. You guys were talking on the radio. We talked yesterday. If the games are rescheduled and a blizzard hits the state of West Virginia,
that'd be unbelievable.
Tomorrow night, tomorrow night, and all the games are just they're in a panic because people can't get to the games, and that would serve the SSAC right. That would be absolutely just karma. Be perfect.
I just wonder, like the impact economically it would have on Charleston with all those people that normally would be down there to travel to go to all the championship games, and they'll end up without that.
Well, the impact that the teams were hosting the games. I mean, these teams that get big crowds, some of these smaller schools that pack their stadiums, and the teams rely on the gate receipts. I mean, think of that what they'll lose there.
I mean, you're talking a few $1,000s, which to high school sports is.
Well, yeah, and if you get like 2 or 3 home games,
probably a little more than a couple thousand. I would think some of these stadiums draw 4,000 or 5,000 people. I mean,
well, you know what? Though it's kind of funny in a way, not funny, but because what the city of Wheeling had it for 30 years, the Super Six.
Yeah, I think it was 30.
And now the first year that it Charleston gets it back,
and it's a disaster.
You almost feel good about it.
Yeah, I was saying I was going to bring that up because it's we don't have to worry about it anymore here. Thinking about hotels and traffic on the island and in Wheeling, but. Now it doesn't matter because they wanted to take it back to Charleston, which and I think it probably should be in Charleston. It's a state capital.
I've never argued that. I agree.
But it was nice when it was in Wheeling. It was a special thing, especially like on the island. You get a beautiful, probably one of the best stadiums in the state. Always beautiful turf. That things are done right here, but it probably should be in Charleston.
If things were equal, if this Charleston did it. As nice as Wheeling has done it over the years, in my opinion, it should be in Charleston. I know for the businesses here it's great, but I think your state championship should be in the capital of your state if it's feasible. I think that's the way it should be. I mean, teams should travel to the capital to play the championship games. That's the way I feel.
And you saw firsthand how unprofessional or how poor they ran that down there when you went
down there
in the late 80s, early 90s.
It was terrible.
So the bar wasn't very high on to,
oh my
to
God,
be able to outdo them.
We pulled up to the stadium and the gates were locked on game day. The gates were locked. They unlocked the gates. I said, because I was an equipment manager and I needed to know where we put our stuff. And I said, well, yeah, we're Wheeling Park here for the game. And one guy says, oh, let me find out what locker room you're in.
I was like a state championship, right?
State championship against awesome. Capital in what turned out to be one of the greatest games in history that played down there. And they didn't even know what locker room we were supposed to be in. It was absolutely incredible.
Wasn't it dirty? Wasn't the locker room dirty?
Well, I mean, there was still stuff around on the floors and stuff. It was just... It was so bad.
Like, there's a game.
We had to find our own practice field. I remember Coach White or Coach Nardoni or somebody had to call South Charleston, get us a practice field for Friday because they didn't do any of that kind of stuff. Like when you come to Wheeling, man, for the minute you get on the bus to leave your city to come to Wheeling, everything is taken care of. Your meal preparation, your practice facilities. Your uniforms are hung up, your practice times listed, everything is taken care of. The media is perfectly set up. We went to trial. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. And I can't imagine them doing they'll do better than that, but they won't do what Wheeling does.
And that's obviously at Laidley.
And Laidley's not very nice. They said they were going to do a bunch of upgrades to it. But I'll be interested because I'm going down there this weekend for the Mountain East Conference volleyball tournament. I might ride over there because they play Ashland at 1:00 at Laidley in the tournament in the NCAA.
Yeah, they got a shot.
Yeah, I think they're ranked number 2 in the region. I think Kutztown is number 1. So Charleston will probably host a couple games if they continue to win.
What crowds do they get down there? Do you know?
Probably not very many. Probably not.
That stadium's a dump. I mean, it just always, and I don't know if have they done anything with their turf, because it always reminded me of just a piece of little green astroturf on concrete.
Oh yeah,
it
always felt like
it just feels like man, it's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've done anything. They said there were going to be upgrades for the. Well, they call it now the West Virginia State Playoff Championships. It's not.
That's the Super 8.
No, they didn't call it anything. They didn't call it Super 8, Elite 8, nothing.
That's the first red flag right there.
Yeah, you said that a minute ago, Cools. Yeah, it's just silly. I don't know. And, Wheeling, you can knock it. They say there's not much to do. Now, I think there's a hell of a lot to do. But Charleston, I'll tell you what, you get down in there is nothing to do in Charleston. Nothing. I mean, the mall used to be nice. That's a dump. Mm-hmm. There's nothing left in there.
Every time I'm in Charleston, I just feel like it's a boring, it's Wheeling's boring, they say, but I feel like when I'm down there, it just feels like empty. I don't know. It feels really weird every time I'm in Charleston. I don't really like Charleston a lot. I'm not a big Charleston fan.
I think Wheeling can be boring at times, but when Wheeling throws an event, Wheeling does it right.
Yeah, it does. And there's stuff to do here. I mean, there is really, you got Ogilvy, you got the casino, the casino with the track. So you got those three things there. You got all kind of restaurants, the Nailers. You got all kind of restaurants that have, obviously TVs to watch games and different places to go. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff to do in Wheeling, as opposed to.
They just have to search it and find it.
It's not very hard either.
Well, Coach, you'll be able to maybe even you'll be down there bullshitting people, and maybe you'll get some other info on this fiasco about with the playoffs.
I don't know. Volleyball's different, but there'll be people around there that I'm sure have some kind of information. But by Saturday, we'll either know we're playing, what we're doing, how that's going to go, and. We'll just wait and see. I'll be able to hear. I'll be anxious to hear if I can run into people, their feelings on the SSAC and how all this was handled. I'll be interested to hear that.
Do you know of anything on the Singway girls volleyball?
No, that's another thing. How about that? We forget to talk about that. How about that disaster? That's a mess, and those poor girls are going to have to play at probably a small gym somewhere in front of nobody other than their parents.
That's fucking awful.
Where it would have been incredible to play with all those people there. The people from the other 6 teams would have been there, or other 4 teams that would have been there to at least make some noise and create some excitement. But now it's totally that's a disaster.
No, I think just to deny them the opportunity to be in that building. To play.
Right, exactly.
They could end up playing at a fucking middle school or so. It's just not the same. And you said that yesterday about just the feel for being in that arena. All the other schools are there watching. Other teams, parents, coaches. Not all of them, but if they're there, they stick around and watch. And then you're relegated to even playing wherever they might play, if they even do play.
So the Class A state volleyball tournament is to the courts as well.
Right, that's in the courts, and I'm not even sure what they're waiting on.
It says following the entry of an order from the Hardy County Circuit Court, the WSSC is now faced with conflicting directives in relation to a prior order issued by the Tyler County Circuit Court regarding Class A volleyball. To address this inconsistency, the WVSSAC will seek clarification and guidance from the Supreme Court of Appeals of West Virginia.
So why did that judge? I don't understand that judge. I don't know where it was. Tyler that determined that Tyler was going from double A to single A after they had already played their sectional.
It's absolutely mind blowing to me. How could that be determined at that point? That is amazing.
It's too late. I mean, they should. I don't know.
Absolutely amazing.
Do it the following season.
All you had to do was just wait.
That's all you had to do with this both football and
just wait.
Just say, hey,
do it in the summer.
This is the way it's going to be this year, and we'll reevaluate it at the end of the season and go from there. Instead of those poor girls. So I don't even.
It's not fair.
Where are they in the single A volleyball?
That's a great question. I'll try to find that.
I thought Tyler might be supposed to play St. Mary's.
Was Tyler
the three schools that were involved in the single A conference was Tyler County, St. Mary's, and Trinity, or Trinity Christian. And they had all played each other, and but they did. I don't know. It was so.
I don't
confusing.
know. I have no idea.
I mean, I read the article, but
honestly, I don't understand it. People would have to explain it a lot more elementary to me than that, because I have no idea why it's on delay, but it's just, and I don't even know what they're waiting for.
And how many?
Where it is?
You probably don't know, but how many schools make it to get to go downstate in the tournament?
I would think 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4. Yeah, because no, might be 8.
Mm-hmm.
Might be 8, because I think Oakland had to win 2 games to get to the finals.
So this says, at the center of the injunctions is Tyler Consolidated High School, who was in Class AA going into this year in the reclassifications. Then, in late October, a judge ruled the school could be classified as Class A for volleyball and cheer. The problem is that when that ruling came, teams were already playing in sectionals and regionals to get to states. I hate that fucking word. I absolutely hate states. I hate that word.
Everybody always says
by the
that.
way.
I don't like it.
Off the topic. However, there was still a pathway created where Tyler could get into the state Class A tournament by winning in play-in games instead. So
they agreed to play somebody in a play-in game, and Tyler won. And then they had to go play somebody else, and then eventually Tyler did what they were supposed to, but then they were left out in the cold.
It said while all of the 7 other positions were solidified into the bracket, the plan was for Tyler and St. Mary's to play for the 8th spot. Mm-hmm. So they're not even in. So they're not even in the playoff. Or in the championship tournament yet.
I don't think so.
This led to multiple injunctions and competing orders from different courts across the state. The most recent injunction came from East Hardy, the number 1 seed in the tournament, arguing that Tyler Consolidated never played in a regional game and should not have the chance at state.
Yeah. Boy, one thing we have heard a lot is the word injunction.
Yeah,
man, that's a word that you can really relate to now, because we sure have heard a lot of it.
What a just an absolute disaster.
I hope that just people just keep filing injunctions all season, like in basketball. Like, I just hope that you'd hear, oh my God, you hear this latest injunction that, hey, you guys want to have an injunction discussion today? Let's talk about
like the first game of baseball season. Well, let's file. We lost this game, so let's file an injunction.
Well, and then what's going to happen is that these kids that are going to go deep in the playoffs are probably going to get some kind of stipulation that they only need X number of practices to play in the winter sports in winter season, and then another team that had to get all their practice in is going to file an injunction against them, like it's a really good player and they played them and beat them. We're filing an injunction because he or she didn't get enough practices, so that they're going to be put on probation, and then we're going to just stop the whole season.
Well,
that's what they should do.
Why do they have?
I might file an injunction against somebody tomorrow.
I might.
What could we file an injunction?
We should just start. The Pine Room Studios has filed an injunction against. Who are we filing against?
I don't know. Like
Wood County.
I don't know. Triton Construction for something going on out here in the streets or something.
Oh, so we're not doing it against the school.
I don't know. Something that I just feel like filing one. I don't care.
Everybody
win.
I'm just going to see if Rocky Fitzsimmons could just.
Yeah, we got Rocky on our
just
side.
Tell
so
us,
we can win.
Hey, Rocky, what would be a good thing we can file an injunction? I'm like in the mood to file an injunction.
So the definition would be a court order that requires a party to do or stop doing a specific action.
We need to come up with some neat injunctions, some fun injunctions.
Yeah. All right.
So anybody that out there that could find a really fun injunction that, like, maybe would work to benefit us, let us know.
It's an injunction is what it to get somebody to stop doing something.
A court order that requires a party to do or stop doing a specific action.
Yeah, but we could file one against Triton.
So basically,
because like I got a flat tire in one of the potholes or something.
It's you just complaining.
But then
right, exactly. Then I don't like the way this is going.
Then it continues. Injunctions are a legal remedy that can be used to protect.
A remedy.
The remedy used to protect the rights of someone who is in danger of being harmed.
In danger of being
So you're
harmed.
right.
Then
So-
it has a bunch of different types
So we
of
can file an
injunctions.
injunction against the construction company doing the roads.
Because I got a flat tire.
Well,
up
I
there.
actually did have that app, and I was
Right.
fucking pissed. It
I
cost
don't
me
know-
$136 fucking dollars.
I don't know what.
When was that, Chris?
Coming down here.
Was that recently?
So
when
you
they
should file an
first
injunction
started.
for him to quit working. Just
It
stop working.
It harmed me.
Not sue. Right. Not sue him, but file an injunction.
We
At
could
least
just
give me
start.
$136.
Who else
back.
could we file an injunction against?
I don't know. I got to think of other people. This would really be fun.
Well, I mean, really, you could just do it against that. Like if your coffee's too hot at McDonald's, like that one lady did, and
then
got all
they
that
would
money.
have to quit serving coffee until it got heard by the
Till-
Supreme Court.
Yeah, so we're gonna take it all
So
away.
they would like take
cold coffee.
Well, then McDonald's would have to take the coffee that like you drank, but at the same temperature, and have the Supreme Court try it to see if it was really too hot, and that might take 4 or 5 days. So, but in the meantime, McDonald's would have to quit selling coffee.
Yeah, but not only drinking, but wouldn't you have to like throw it on somebody?
Well, that's
because it spilled in her lap, didn't it?
Well,
I think it just burnt.
That was
maybe
a
it
sue.
did.
That they sued over that.
Yeah.
That wasn't an injunction. I want to do injunctions. Those sound fun.
So injunction. Well, I guess it is still legal. I'm just trying to think of what else we could. I'm trying to think of something that happened to me today that I could file an injunction.
What would be a good T-shirt? You better not look at me wrong. I'll file an injunction.
Or we just have a shirt that says injunctions.
Yeah,
on it.
that's what we should get. Just injunction.
And just send them to the
T-shirts.
SSAC
You're right.
or Wood County.
Supreme.
Yeah, use their logo. You probably couldn't do it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Just have the word
Right.
injunction.
They
on
should
it.
change their name, the Parkersburg Injunctions.
I mean,
Wait.
it was just.
Yeah, and let's see. We could get like the Supreme Court, something on the back about the Supreme Court. We love the Supreme Court.
But you could say like last name, Supreme Court, and then number one on the their number one.
I'm going to pursue this. I think this is really neat.
All right, let's think of our
Neat.
injunctions, and then let us know your injunctions. Maybe you have an injunction against us.
Just
Dessert is an essential part to a quality life, and quality desserts make life all the more better. Had a long day at work and you need something sweet? Maybe you're out late and you need the perfect snack to cap off your evening. Or you're just a dessert lover with a knack for the finest of sweet treats. Well, say hello to the Brownie House, home of the best brownies ever. A family bakery dedicated to baking the world's best gourmet brownies, baked with premium imported chocolate, high-quality ingredients, and no preservatives. No prepackaged, pre-made, fake-tasting chocolate, no. These brownies are made from scratch, shipped nationwide, and delivered right to your door. And starting right now, you can head to yesbrownies.com and use the code PINEROOM, all caps, during checkout to receive 20% off your order. For the best brownies and more, take a trip to the Brownie House.
file something. Just file anything.
Just do it.
Yeah.
File one.
Well, it's like what Saul Rosenberg
Wonder
said.
if I got it. Wonder when you file those if you just can, like on The Office. You guys don't watch The Office too much, I don't think. Do you Cools? Don't you? Don't you watch
Yeah, I
The
watch
Office?
it.
When Michael declared bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah.
He just yelled bankruptcy.
Bankruptcy.
No, he said, "I'm declaring bankruptcy." And Jim said, "You have to do more than just declare
yell
it.
it,
You
yeah.
have to do paperwork." So I don't know, like if you could just go, "I'm filing an injunction against him, against Wood County," and then they just say, "Okay, well, he's filed an injunction.
Give
so
him the
we
money.
we got to stop everything right now. Stop."
right.
Put the balls down.
So when Michael just declared bankruptcy
He-
by saying he protected all his assets,
He
by
just
doing that.
he just yelled in the office.
Yeah.
I am declaring bankruptcy. Screamed it, and Jim said, "Michael, it doesn't work like that. You have to do more than just tell
Say it.
people, say it that you're declaring bankruptcy." So that, I guess there is more to an injunction. Maybe I have to do some paperwork.
yeah.
Like I'm going to look into that, see if the wording, the really good wording.
I like that when Michael, they had a surplus of their balance at the end of the year. So
Oh, he took it for himself.
he had the option of buying a new printer, or he could get new chairs for the
Right.
office, and everybody was split on what they wanted. So then
He
he
called
just,
David.
So then he just took it for himself.
Well, he called David, and David said, "You don't know about the, I don't know the wording, but you can keep X% of the surplus for yourself." And then he got thinking, he said, no, our chairs are good. The copier's fine. And he kept it for himself and bought that mink coat from.
Oh, yeah, he bought the coat. Well, I liked it.
And then somebody threw blood on it because some of those PETA people threw blood on it.
Pamela, what's her, Pam, said that she wanted the copier.
No, she wanted the seats.
Oh, that's right.
She wanted the seats.
She wanted the new chair.
Jim wanted a copier.
Jim wanted the copier, and Pam went up to the copier and said, "See, it's perfectly fine." And the page was crooked. It was completely crooked.
Yeah. Yeah. And Michael sat down in one of the chairs. And he said, these chairs are fine, and he kept going.
He just
down
kept going lower.
And by the time
lower.
It's it's just his eyes were.
That's a great show.
Oh man, I could go over it. One of my favorite. Chris, do you watch it?
Yeah, I used to actually watch it when it was on regular TV. But
Netflix has it.
His character is unbelievable.
Oh my God,
it just funny.
And I go back and watch him over and over and find different funny things, subtle things that he says that are just. Phenomenal. It's a really good show. But anyway,
which is another point. We had Todd Packer on the show.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to that, it's on a couple months ago. I think it was had Packer on. The show. Well, not his name is. It escapes me now.
Oh,
David Koechner. David Koechner,
yeah.
who came to Wheeling. Actually, the guys got to meet him.
He's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
Yeah, he's funny on a show, but a little him would go a long way in that show. Boy, he's
what his character?
Oh, he's tough, man. He's so crude. It's incredible. And Michael loves it. Michael absolutely loves all the stuff he does. But yeah, Koechner was on there, but it's just, man, it seems like yesterday we had him in what's it been, a month or so? Yeah. At least a month.
Yeah, at least a month or two. I couldn't go. I can't remember what I was doing. I couldn't go to the show, but. Are you guys watching anything good right now?
I can't find anything. I cannot literally find anything to watch, and these guys keep telling me this or that. Job said some animated show that you guys.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't like that.
What is it?
No, it's called Arcane, but
Arcane.
That's not for you.
Job said it's the greatest show of all time.
It's really good. It really is. If you could just stop being,
negative,
and just open up your mind.
I can't.
He would never watch that.
I know it's animated. But what's the genre? Like, what is it about?
Like fantasy, isn't it?
I mean, it's not like
they're telling me to watch. I haven't watched it yet.
You would never watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it.
And another show that needs to be studied is how far it's fallen is Outer Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Outer Banks.
You were all pumped up for that.
Season 1 and 2 were great. It probably should have ended after that. And then season 3 came along, was not very good, and then again they stretched it out to season 4, and season 4 was just
really
horrible.
Bad.
Yeah, you run out of stuff to do,
and they're making a season 5.
They don't even explain stuff. There's a scene, and it just would be a spoiler, I guess. For anybody that hasn't.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you're listening.
If you haven't watched it by now, you're probably never gonna watch it. It sucks anyway. There's a scene where they're on this ship. Like in the middle of the ocean, and one of the girls she's pregnant, by the way, and it's like tsunami waves, like it's huge.
Like they're in the middle of a massive storm, like 50-foot swells,
and she falls in. Then another guy jumps in to save her. We don't see how he saves her. All of a sudden, they just wash up on the beach.
They're not even anywhere. They're nowhere close to the coast.
With no life jacket.
He had a life preserver, an orange life preserver,
and they made it.
He threw it into the water past her.
They didn't show anything.
They showed nothing, and they wash up on the shore like
it's impossible.
100 yards
days
down.
later.
Absolutely impossible.
She's pregnant. That baby'd be dead.
Those are things they stretch, and
it is fallen.
But when you see things like that, they kind of lose you as a viewer. You're like, well, I don't know if I want to watch this anymore because it's just so far fetched.
It's just it got so silly
just to see how bad it is.
No,
watching a car crash.
I agree. It was the season 1 and 2 were so good, and I absolutely loved it. Like it was just a kind of like a low key cool show, and then now it's just gone. It's called Outer Banks. They're not even in the Outer Banks anymore. They're not even.
It's the Outer Banks in North
Carolina. Yeah.
Okay, and it started out good. I remember watched a couple of them, and a bunch of young kids, right? Weren't they hunting for a treasure or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I watched a little bit, and I could tell that was going to go sideways.
Oh, it's gone waste. It's taken a 180.
Well, I have watched Yellowstone the last couple episodes. It's the final 6
that just
episodes.
came back, right?
Yeah, the final series, and it's down to the last 4 episodes, and I think they're going to get really, really intense. So I'm anxious for those because it's been a little bit slow the first 2 of the last season. I know Big Mac. He comes up to the vets at about 6 and leaves at 20 to 8 to get home to watch it, and it's worth the watch. It's a good show, but it'll be time for that to go away. Beth is enough, and
How many seasons has that gone?
Boy, your mother would know that. She's going to kill me for not knowing.
5 or 6? 4 or 5?
Maybe 4 maybe. I don't know, but this is the last season. There's 4 more episodes because what's Costner's title in it? What's his name in it? I forget his name.
Dutton?
Yeah, John Dutton. Yeah, he's dead. He's gone. So that sort of set the stage for it to end because now the ranch will come under all this. The one son wants to help him build an airport there. But anyway, that's what I watch on Sundays now instead
Not
of
football.
Oh man! Listen, Cools, by Sunday night, I am so footballed out that I gotta get away from it. I can't watch football.
We're literally from Friday afternoon till Sunday night.
Saturdays.
It's all football.
Saturday's noon to.
You got to do Monday night.
Saturday's noon really. Saturday's noon to 11, and then Sundays 1 to whatever.
Well, actually, we have it from Thursday to Monday. You got Thursday night football, then you got high school, then you got college.
Well, and I watched. I believe it or not, I watched the MAC games on Tuesday and Wednesday too.
Good Lord.
And there's 3 on tonight, and I'll watch those.
That's incredible.
I don't know.
I haven't watched any of those.
But it's coming to an end, fellas. It's hard to believe football's coming to an end. There's 2 more.
That's
2 more weeks of college football left, and then it's bowl games. And
thank God, I'm tired of college football.
I'm
You're
not
a fan anyway.
No,
I'm not.
It's tough to watch.
I could watch college football.
That is such a good time of the year. Saturday, Pine Room Saturday college football with a good slate is just.
I love the Pine Room. Obviously, I just wish we could switch NFL with college on Saturdays and just Pine Room.
I always thought about having a Pine Room on a Sunday, but guys have to get up for work then.
Yeah,
and
it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't because then it wouldn't be late night. I agree with you there, Cools. I thought like that Sunday, that 22nd, maybe the 20, whatever that Sunday is, December before Christmas, 21st maybe, or 22nd, I thought maybe doing it then because nobody would have to get up the next day, I didn't think. I think that would be fun. I think an NFL Sunday would be fun up there.
I would love it.
I agree with that. And I enjoy watching Red Zone and all the games. I think it's fun, especially if you're gambling on it.
And fantasy football.
Yeah, and guys are into fantasy. It is a lot of fun. I agree. I do agree, but there's so much. Well, I guess in college too, but there's just so much disparity in the talent level, and I know they're all pros, but.
I mean, even then though,
but Jacksonville's just have they quit?
That was such a good bet.
You think they've absolutely just quit?
But still, like they could go if they get Trevor Lawrence back, they'll go win a game. But then the Panthers are getting wins; they got 3 wins. It's way better than watching Mercer play Alabama.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
why is Mercer playing Alabama?
Money.
I know, but like I'm saying, like. Do we seriously need to keep doing this year after year?
And who's Georgia playing this coming week?
UMass.
Yeah, well, and then somebody played somebody really bad last weekend. But anyway, that's a bad part of it. It is, but the NFL, I think there are some Cools. You got to admit, there's some teams that are just inferior to other teams that they could not beat them if they played 10 weeks in a row. They couldn't beat them. Like there's no way in my mind the Giants could or the Jags could ever beat the Chiefs.
Not with Mac Jones and a quarterback.
In 10 weeks, they could never beat the Chiefs.
Not right now.
I don't think the Giants in 10 weeks could beat the Lions right now.
No, I agree.
There might be some good games out of it, though.
Boy, maybe.
But you won't ever see that from Bama and Mercer.
Well, no. But that's I agree with that. But if you stay in the conference, just in the SEC, most SEC teams would at least give Bama a decent game.
But
Well, we saw that with Vanderbilt.
Yeah, right.
But I just wish that was all year. I wish they the worst team they would play all year would be Vanderbilt. It just to me the fact that they schedule these teams that should be playing in the Mountain East Conference is insane to me.
Yeah, it is. It draws a lot of questions, and I don't like it either because it's no fun to watch.
It's a waste of a week.
It is a waste of a week for a team.
Just a payday.
I don't know. Just Mercer probably walked away with $3-4 million, but it had filled their budget for probably the year. Mm-hmm. And they know they're going to go get their brains beat out, but they go do it anyway because they're making money.
Yeah.
They just hope nobody gets injured seriously.
I would just love to the week leading up to that game and be in their locker room and hear what their coach is telling them, knowing that they're playing
Nobody
Alabama.
get hurt.
Guys, if we execute, we can.
We believe.
But here's the thing with that though. You do get the occasional incredible upset, like
App State over Michigan.
Yeah, Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame this year.
Yeah,
but that's different. I think they're better than Mercer though.
Yeah, but it's like these no-name, low-conference
well, you
teams.
don't like Mercer.
I hate Mercer.
Oh,
I didn't even know they existed until this weekend.
They had good baseball. They had good baseball program at one time.
Did they?
Really good. I don't know about now, but at one point, they were very good in baseball.
Really? Where's speaking of the football though? Where's the Fighting Irish ranked now?
5? Are they 5?
You mentioned
no. The top 5 didn't move.
Listen,
top 5
I think they're 6. I think they're 6.
I think.
Listen, if Notre Dame wouldn't have lost to Northern Illinois, they'd either be 2 or 1 right now in the country.
Well, they shouldn't even be in the top 10.
Well, there'd be 2.
Joke.
There'd be 2 or 1 if they didn't lose it, and they'll beat Army and they'll beat SC, so they're going to end up 10 and.
Who are their quality wins right now?
Oh boy. Well, Luke would say Texas A&M. Okay. And A&M's not very good. Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
And that's it.
I'll look up.
They beaten Navy. They beaten Virginia. They beaten
Florida State.
They beaten Florida State. Yeah, I mean
they beat Wake. Have they played them? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
they beat Texas A&M. Got beat by Northern Illinois. Beat Purdue, worst team in the country.
The worst team in the Big
Ten.
Ten.
Beat Miami of Ohio.
Pac-10 school.
That's another game.
Beat Louisville.
Mac-10.
They beat Louisville.
Louisville's average. They're very average up and down.
At the time, they were 15. They beat Stanford.
Stanford's not good.
West Lib.
Stanford's not good.
Beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech couldn't beat
They're
Charleston.
not very good in the ACC.
They beat Navy. Kicked the shit out of Navy.
Navy's come back down to earth.
Kicked the shit out of Florida State.
Mm-hmm. Well, Florida State 1-8,
and then beat Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia's was 5-5.
I'd say Louisville.
Yeah,
Louisville's
and they'd probably argue A&M. I don't know what.
But that's
A&M's
what Notre Dame does every year. They play a dog shit schedule, then they make the playoff, and then they get beat by 30.
And they'll beat Army and call that a big win because Army's undefeated. Mm-hmm. So, but they're a 15.5-point favorite against Army, and then they got SC, who's just average at best. So, I don't know, but they'd probably be number 1 or 2 in the country if they wouldn't have lost to Northern Illinois.
Army just can't get out of that 24-25 ranking.
Well, if they could beat Notre Dame somehow, they'll shoot up in the top 20 for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know if they can. I don't think they can beat Notre Dame.
Will there be any teams that make that playoff with 3 wins? And the only reason I ask because
3 losses, you mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah, 3 losses. Because if Georgia would have lost to Tennessee, that would have been their 3rd loss. Where they've pretty much been eliminated.
I would
think
they got a mess in the SEC though, because there's like 6 teams with 2 losses, so they're going to have a mess to determine who plays in the championship game, because everybody's beating everybody in those 2 losses.
You know, if you're not sure what you do,
found injunction.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to.
I hope Indiana. I hope Indiana can make some noise this week. They play Ohio State.
I hope.
I doubt it. Though.
Getting 12.5. I don't know, man. It looks like a trap. It looks like that's at Ohio State, isn't it?
Yeah. That is at Columbus.
Man, that's going to be tough.
Is that a noon game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Which I don't understand that. Well, those are 2 of the best teams in the country.
Tell me something. Why was Colorado and
Colorado
BYU at a noon game?
Played at 10 in the morning. Over there.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a lot of very questionable.
You don't like the noon game?
I love noon games, but I don't understand why 2 teams out west would be a noon game. Why wouldn't they be a 3:30 game?
Yeah, Colorado, Utah last week.
Oh, Utah. That's right. It was at Utah, right?
It was at Colorado. They're 2 hours behind us.
Right. It was Colorado because the stadium was packed.
Yeah, they played at 10 a.m., which...
I think I'd be all right to try that. Although,
for the fans would be rough.
Travel though, to get to the game, and you're leaving it. Like if the Mountaineers played at 10 o'clock.
Oh my God, they'd be.
You talking about the fans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, they probably just would stay up all night.
Yeah,
but if you were coming from Wheeling or something going down, you'd have to get there by 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
To get situated.
Leave at 4.
Get good and drunk.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's no time to tailgate.
That'd be, hey, if you started at noon or 10 out there west, you'd game over at 1. You get the whole day to drink and
When's the last time you've been to a football game as a fan?
Oh boy, you mean other than high school?
Other than high school, yeah. You haven't been to a high school game as a fan, have you? Besides, broadcasting?
Yeah, I went to Park Steubenville. The year we beat Steubenville, I sat in the stands with some guys because I didn't have anything to do that game. But other than that, I never go as a fan. But boy, that's a good one. Jeez, oh Pete. Ooh, boy, when's the last time? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's been quite some time.
West Lib Wheeling?
Boy, that might have been that. Now, how long ago is that now?
That was
6 years ago? 6 years because I think they're 2-4. They're 4-2 against West Lib, aren't they? Wheeling?
Might be, yeah, because I was obviously still in college.
Yeah, I think Wheeling's 4-2 against West Lib.
How bad did they beat them this past week?
45 to 20 or something.
What was the crowd like at that game?
I don't know, but Wheeling covered the spread, and I would have definitely bet West Liberty getting, I think, 15.5.
So that might be the last time you went to a.
It may be that Wheeling West Lib game at Wheeling's first year.
Yeah. Yeah, and they almost lost.
West Lib.
Yeah, Thomas Cole back of the end zone touchdown.
Like 11 seconds, I remember that.
Yeah.
Everybody was touting West Lib, all the big, strong West Lib tradition. They're going to win by 30. Jeez, Louise.
Was that Wheeling's first game ever?
Ever. Because
they had a year. Play the first
they
game?
had a year that before, because I announced a couple of the games. They had a year before they played a bunch of scrimmages, but
that's right.
They were like games because
they transition or something.
Yeah, and they played like Bethany and Carnegie Mellon and stuff like that, but they didn't play a regular schedule. They played like 5 games, and I knew they were going to be pretty good.
Wonder why they played West Lib the first game of the year, because that's always the last game of the year.
Maybe just because the excitement of
that might have been.
Everybody thought West Lib.
That was an unbelievable atmosphere.
Yeah, it was wild.
That was
you
cool.
were there, Chris, weren't you?
I never made it to the game. I stayed in a parking lot because I got on a roll with Bloody Marys. And
that never. When's the last time you've been to a Division I or like an NFL game?
Oh boy. Oh, probably Southeast Florida, Georgia.
Oh yeah, you went to Florida, Georgia. Yeah.
Cocktail party 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago.
That was longer than that. I think.
Maybe
what was
40?
the game where it was 9 million degrees?
That was LSU. LSU, Florida. Yeah. Oh my God, that was awful. And we sat on the side with the sun. I thought Bay was going to die. That was awful.
That's like that Chiefs Bucks game we went to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
you guys were in that one.
Yeah, that was. Geez, that was in like. Was in like October, and it was down in Tampa, and it was so hot that day. That was during COVID. I remember, like right after COVID, we got to sit that way to wear masks.
Yeah, you're right. That was what, 2020? 4 years
20,
ago?
I think it was 2021.
While we're still talking, this is airing. You guys might be at the Steeler game, right?
Yeah. The day that you hear this,
you might be at the Steelers sitting in 50-mile-an-hour wind. Well, you won't be if you're inside.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. We because we're partners with the
Boy,
Cleveland.
won't that be nice to use those that day?
Yeah, so we're partners. If people don't know, we're partners with the Cleveland Browns on our radio station, and we hopefully are going to get media passes to Steelers at Browns today when you're hearing this for Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, and Chris did this one time. And
yeah, Chris, you had a heck of a time.
Different occasion. You might want to talk about that a little bit.
As long as we can you guys keep soup under wraps.
I know. That's
Don't let him up there cheering.
Yeah.
But did you say he bought tickets as well?
I think he bought tickets because he was going to go anyway, but me and Cool said, I just want to do the media pass thing. Go as
plus you get good parking, right, Chris?
Yeah,
you park close to the stadium.
Yeah, there's almost no reason not to. And I'm a Steeler fan So, I mean, there's no reason not to use them.
Yeah, you wear your Pine Room gear. And
Yeah, I'm not going to wear any Steelers stuff because we're going up to Cleveland.
And just sit there and you're going to.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy I'm not going to go crazy.
You don't have to eat on the way up.
No, I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah, good food in there?
Well, I don't know what you like, but I thought it was great.
What'd you get?
Beef tips, they had salmon, they had stir fry.
Yeah, it wasn't burgers and dogs, was it?
Well, they had hot dogs with sauerkraut if you want.
Ooh,
they had hot
sauerkraut?
dogs.
Okay.
They might have had nachos and cheese. But then they had
there you go, Jarrett.
Desserts.
I'm not going to eat.
They had a salad bar.
If we get them, I'm not going to eat on the way up.
It's going to feel like a Pine Room Saturday in there.
See, this is a little tricky here, guys, and Bear talked about this on his show. The Steelers, what do you guys think the line is?
It's 3.5.
Oh, you guys know, 3.5. That's tricky, I'm telling you.
We talked about it today on the show.
This could make the Browns season, at least recover some of the mess.
If not, they're going 2-15. If they get blown out, they will not win. They have no chance.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I wouldn't be afraid to bet the Browns in this game.
This is one of those trap games that the Steelers find themselves losing.
I was initially thinking that, but now that everybody's thinking the same thing,
the
Steelers are going to go out and win by
raw.
I looked today, Dad. 92% of the money's on the Steelers.
Yeah,
public money.
Yeah.
I should just bet the Steelers.
Yeah.
And if they don't win,
if the Browns, it's
a
win-win.
But what'll happen? The Browns will lose by
two. Yeah,
so they won't win the game.
You should bet the Browns money line.
Yeah,
put $100 on a Browns money line.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but everybody thought the Jags that line was wasn't enough.
I thought it was. I bet it.
We were all saying that's a lot in the NFL. And Bob Slider said
the Detroit game,
the 14. Bob Slider said they will beat them by 50.
Yeah.
We all said, Bob, it's the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
First score I saw was 28-0, I think.
Yeah,
those Jags are done.
And who quarterbacked the Jags?
Mac Jones.
Oh,
he's so fucking bad.
So bad.
He looks fucking clueless.
Is he bad?
Oh, how the hell did he make a Pro Bowl? It is insane how bad he looks. But that whole team.
It is amazing how a quarterback makes a difference on a team. Now, I know they need a good offensive line, and you really do need to be able to run the football, at least somewhat. Mm-hmm. But a good quarterback just makes a difference on a team.
I think it just shows just how good Trevor Lawrence really is. I mean, he hasn't really put the best numbers up, but I mean, you put Mac Jones in there, and they're getting beat by 40.
I think it still shows how good Tom Brady was, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about all the good teams in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have
Mahomes, Stafford,
Jared Goff.
Or Mahomes, Goff. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean,
Josh Allen.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, dare I say.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah. Did Matt say they put him on he's like third string now?
He's emergency quarterback now.
Because I heard him say, Matt they confirmed it too, but they don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just, how the fuck do you go from starting to third?
I think he's actually dog shit.
He's terrible.
But he's actually
terrible. But it is funny, though. What did Matt say that Brian Daboll said?
He said it was
want to just kind of mix things
up.
Yeah,
change things up.
Go in a different direction.
Well, hopefully Thursday we'll be sitting up in the press box when you're hearing this, and we'll be watching.
Let me ask you guys. I'm going to throw like 8 quarterbacks out, and you guys tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being an all pro, 1 they shouldn't even be in the NFL. Give me their rating.
Okay.
I'll go around it first. I'll give you Chris, Jameis Winston.
4.
Oh, 4. Okay. All right. Soup.
You mean Cools?
Jesus. Cools.
I was like, what?
Geno
Smith?
Yeah.
I'd give him a 6.
6?
He's above average.
Really? All right, Jarrett. Bo Nix.
Oh, he's turned it on as of late.
Boy, 5 weeks ago,
I was gonna 5 weeks ago I'd give him a 1 or a 2. I'd say right now I'd give him a 5. Okay. I'll give him a 5.
Chris.
Wonder what Matt would give, but he.
I was just gonna say, Chris. Matt's favorite quarterback, Joe Burrow.
10 being all. He's got to be at least an 8.
Yeah. He might be an all-pro this year.
Yeah.
His stats are unbelievable.
Boy, if Matt listens to this, he'll throw some of the TV.
Yeah,
he'll call you and cuss you.
We should have called him and asked.
All right, Cool's Jordan Love.
Oh, that's a good one. I'd go 6 to 7.
All right, Jarrett. Kirk Cousins.
Oh man.
Fuck this year.
Jeez, this year probably
Is he playing the Bucks?
3, I'd say.
Boy, he's been bad lately.
He's been
Jesus,
bad.
they're so awful right now. Chris, Brock Purdy.
5. I haven't
good.
seen
And
enough
they
of him.
haven't been near as good as
They're
they.
getting old.
No.
They're
All
getting
right,
old quick.
cool. So I'm going to be interested in this one. I got a number. I got a number on and I'm going to
I hope you say who.
Tua.
Oh,
See, I like Tua.
Here's what I had up for you to say.
Fuck no, not a 9.
Oh yeah, I thought for sure you'd give him a
No,
9.
He's above average. I'd give him a 6 too. I think he's right in the same tier as
Really?
Gino and dear God, not a fucking 9.
Really? All right, Jarrett. Dak Prescott.
oh, geez. Well, he's done for the year.
Yeah, but I mean when he was playing.
Ugh.
You mean when he was at his best, or just currently?
Just
before he got
no.
hurt?
this year-
overall,
This year, I
think he's the most overrated quarterback.
was going to say 4.
Underachieving, overrated, could never win a big game. I
Overpaid.
think.
What would you give him?
Oh, I'd give him a 2. I think he's fucking terrible. I think he is awful. Tell me the last time he had a good game. I mean, obviously he's been hurt, but
Yeah.
They've struggled.
Jesus.
all right, Chris, Jaden Daniels.
I mean,
I like him.
based on, well, I guess this is his first year. I'd give him a 6, 7.
Oh yeah, I think
I mean,
he's.
I would have said 8.
He's struggled lately. He's struggled a lot.
Yeah.
Few games.
And they lost their last
The
2.
Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing through a rib injury or not, but
All right, Cools Russell.
I was glad.
5 or 4. Yeah.
But you went like, ugh.
You ought to ask
He's
Brad
just an
McLaughlin
average
that
quarterback.
question.
Why? Does he like Russell? Oh, no, he
Brad?
hates Russell?
Oh my God, he'd give him a negative. He hates Russell. I think that's his most hated athlete in the world.
Why?
I just because
Who is this?
Brad McLaughlin hates Russell. I think because Seattle and San Fran have been
Well, yeah,
rivalry,
that-
and he thinks he's
I mean, he is a
That's
corny
like
dude.
Cools and Taysom Hill.
yeah.
Fuck Taysom Hill.
Hey, what about the game he had against the Browns?
I don't care. I
He had 3 touchdowns.
I literally
I'm so
couldn't-
tired of him.
He
I
must have
couldn't
lost
get
him
over-
in
I
fantasy.
could not get over that game he had. What do you have? 6 receptions for like
the
50
Browns,
yards.
The Browns made him look like the Heisman winner.
He was like,
It was terrible.
what? He had like 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, and a passing. He threw an interception. He threw an interception.
And fumbled.
And he fumbled.
Chris, you think the fourth quarter was the worst quarter in the history of the Browns
So
organization?
bad. I mean,
It was 14 all.
going in the fourth quarter, and then it just.
Yeah, but anyway,
I wish, and we were saying, I don't know if you heard us talking to Kelsey. I wish she could really say what she thinks.
I love that
Because she does. I mean, and she does a great job with those answers. But man, it's just so. Like I can't say anything bad. Like she just like sometimes if you didn't know, you'd think, well, Browns must be having a pretty good year, just based on her answers.
all right, Cool's last question, then we'll wrap it up. Who's going to be in a Super Bowl?
Man, I mean, it seems like I'd hate picking the favorites. Like, I feel like people want me to say the Lions versus the Chiefs, but I still believe in the Ravens. I think the Ravens will sneak in there. I think if they use Derrick Henry the right way, I think they can.
Just offensively against the Steelers,
I know.
I didn't look.
How often
good.
are they going to miss 2 kicks and lose a game like that? And that's just typical Steeler luck. That's just the way they win.
Yeah, that's the way they win. It's amazing,
insane.
and they keep doing it.
They keep fucking getting away with it.
Jarrett, who you say Super Bowl?
Lions, Steelers.
Chris.
Lions, Bills.
Wow, Lions all over the place.
Yeah,
Don't count out the Eagles.
yeah.
I thought he was going to say Bucks.
No, if we had Mike Evans and Godwin healthy, yeah.
Could anybody else besides the Lions go? Who else in the NFC? Maybe the Niners. Maybe.
Niners, Eagles,
Then what? Then what?
Vikings.
Yeah.
I thought them would be for a while,
Commanders. I mean,
but them for a while, and then they.
I don't know. That's about it.
Lions are going to be tough to beat.
that'd be cool as
Who's
hell
your-
if the
you know who
Redskins
beat 'em?
made it.
Bucks. He remembers that.
Who's your favorite quarterback in the NFL?
Favorite quarterback in the NFL? Undoubtedly Joe Burrow. Happy birthday, Matt. All right.
Yep, I think that'll wrap us up here. Episode 136 of the Pine Room Podcast. Thank you all for listening, watching, tune into the radios Monday, Tuesday, Friday, maybe Friday, tomorrow if you're hearing this. Who knows if we'll even be doing
we'll be
football.
on the air.
We'll be on
but-
the air, but I don't know if we'll be doing football games. Who the heck knows? The SSAC has got everything pat down. They're great organization.
At this point, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Just listen to us. So we'll see you next week here in the Pine Room. Later.